Okay, let's get one thing abundantly straight. You see that? Get used to that. That'll be on my list. Greetings everyone, I hope you're doing very well. Today you join me to discuss the 5 things I dislike about the Yamaha MT10. Hopefully this won't annoy many of you. Last video I did of dislikes got the most dislikes, so go easy on me. They're very pernickety things because this is a great overall bike. If that interests you, stick around and we'll go through them. So if you've clicked on this video, you're probably interested in buying an MT10, or you have an MT10. I'm probably going with the first one, and you're going to want to know what's the annoying things about having one and ownership of one. Now, I've had this bike for quite a while now. I love it, completely love it. This video is more just to point out a couple of annoying things which to be aware of if you do buy one of these fantastic bikes. So we'll kick off with the first most major thing that I see most everywhere, you know, people moaning about it most, and that will be, as you probably guessed from the start of this video, the fuel consumption on this bike. Now, the fuel consumption on an MT10 is pretty notoriously bad. Gravel everywhere on the road, brilliant. They don't, I think they do about 35 to the gallon or something along those lines, which isn't impressive for a bike, to be honest. The highlight of the MT10 though, let's be honest, is the engine. So for me it wasn't a big deal. The engine is a peach, and I would happily pay, especially if you're only using it for like a fun toy weekend blast bike. If you're commuting on this bike, then fuel consumption should probably be something you think about, because it's not the best. I did improve mine by getting it mapped. Comparing it to my mate's bike, he's got an MT10 which is I think a year older than mine, this being a 2017. We went on a recent trip to France, and mine did around, with a dyno map, his has got a postal map, mine did around 30 miles, was it 30 kilometers it is, better per tank. So it is possible to improve it, bear that in mind. But yeah, fuel consumption takes about, well, how many litres? About 17 I think, and it will be full to the brim. So yeah, be aware of that. Number 1, fuel consumption. Okay, number 2. So 2 is, you know, dependent on your taste, and that is the aesthetics of this bike. Now, many of people, as I've spoken about in other videos, it's a very transformery looking thing. It's quite angly, and it looks pretty cool, I think. I didn't like it at first when I didn't own one, but it's definitely grown on me quite a lot. I'll put a picture up so you can see the front angle, and yeah, I think it looks cool. You can obviously modify them a little bit. I do think the MT10 is quite a versatile bike, where I've seen some that look really sporty, like this one for example. I think mine looks quite sporty. You can even put the R1 tail on the back, which looks immense. And you also can make them into a really big touring lump, which is, you know, they look good. They look like a tourer bike. So if it's something you want to tour on, it's totally possible, and it you know, it has all the necessary benefits of a touring bike that you could ask for. Oh my god, as I get pounded to death. My suspension is very hard, but this is yeah, it's a good touring bike. I took it to France with these suspension settings, and had a great time. So yeah, number 2, looks. Okay, number 3 of annoyances of this bad boy machine is the fuel gauge. So if you can see that fuel gauge, I hope you can see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. So you've got reserve, then you've got quarter, then you've got half, and then the final bar is a whole bar, which is half a tank, which I don't know why they've done that. I mean, the first bar that goes is the half a tank bar, so the first time you know you're down any fuel at all is when you know you've got half a tank gone. Oh god, I wanted to go down there, which I think is a bit stupid. I don't know why they didn't just do, you know, 6 instead of that, but that's how it is. So yeah, it's been quite annoying to know where your fuel is if you've got sort of 3/4 of a tank or so. That will be my number 3. Pretty simple one. Something some people could argue that is a negative factor on this thing is just how big it is and the weight of it. I believe it's around 212 kilos. I'm not sure if that's what it'll drive, but it's a hefty old lump. It's quite a big physical machine, to be honest. I came from a KTM, so it feels quite big and wide when you jump off, say, a parallel twin or a twin of any type, to be honest, and this feels quite large. So yeah, the weight can be seen as a negative. It's quite a, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a bike you can really throw around corners like a more nimble sort of 600, but it's definitely capable, don't get me wrong. It's just a bit more lazy, you could say, compared to the other bikes. Oh, these roads closed. I don't want to go this way. I want to go this way. See if we can find a cheeky way through the town. Then I can stop and show you my final annoyance. Oh, pothole. Can I get around here? You saw nothing. The advantages of motorcycles. Right there, evidence. Oh, I made it. Let's stop here. Where it says no parking. Okay, so to demonstrate for you the last and final thing, and probably the most annoying thing for me personally about this whole bike. So I take my glove off, or put it on, you could say, and then I try to remove this key. Now I don't have a massive bunch of keys, but I do have a few, like most of you probably will. But even if you have one key, this clutch line is in the way of the ignition, and it pisses me off so much. Like when I especially if I've got gloves on, to get this thing out, look, and then I drop them. It's a good example of how annoying that is. Now I'm pretty sure this is on all bikes, but when I have to put the key in, I have to move this out of the way, and over time it's going to slowly scratch this cable if you're not careful. You have to pull it out of the way to get the key in, and then it's just, when you've got a big bunch, it's really annoying. Look. Cool, really cool that is. Shout out to my friend Tom with his MX-5. That's what you are perceived as, Tom. So that's it really, guys. That's the top 5 things I think are most annoying about the MT10, and as you can probably tell, there isn't many. They're very pernickety, very minor things. It's an overall great bike. They're just little annoyances that I've found. If you found this video helpful at all, please give it a like, and if you think it was any good, please give me a sub. I really appreciate the support. Until the next time, which will be next Sunday, take care, and I will see you then. Ciao for now.